Hey guys, Rick at Field Farm. This is day 91 of our 100-day homestead challenge. We're almost through it to this challenge to get everything built up in 100 days to see how far we could get. And we've come a long way. I mean, we started with nothing but a fence and a few blueberry bushes, and now we've got a barn up, or most of the barn up. We have a well in. We have 5 goats, 16 chickens, 8 guinea hens, 2 pigs. We've got all our fencing up. We have our chicken coop built. We got a couple tractors, still not finished, but we got them built. We got the greenhouse up. We got a massive garden going. Farm stands built. we have just got so much done in just these last couple months, and it's really crazy when you think about it. And it's a lot of work. And I touched on this a little bit in yesterday's video, that doing this challenge isn't the only challenge. Maintaining the homestead, is also a challenge. You're feeding animals every day. You're cleaning those stalls and coops. You're keeping up with the garden. We're hauling in water until the well's hooked up. There's always something to do every day, and some of it's tedious, and some of it wears on you after a while. But 100% at the end of the day, it is worth it. You're raising your own food. You're, building bonds with your animals, with your family. And that's what's important in life. Going to work, working a 9-to-5 job, something you don't enjoy, just to pay the bills. That's not a way to live. You're basically selling your time to your employer. And, really, what's your time worth? Because to me, my time doesn't have a price. Nobody can pay me enough to make it worth it. We're in a situation where we have to do what we have to do at the moment, but the time's coming very soon where that's not going to be the case. So, we have things laid out to basically have us debt free 100% by the end of next year. So we'll be about 75% out of debt right around Christmas this year, if everything goes to plan. So, but it's taken a lot of work in planning, and when you're doing your homestead, or if you're thinking about doing your homestead, write out a plan and stick to it. We started this challenge, and we had a rough outline of all the things we wanted to accomplish, and we didn't get them all done. We're not going to get them all done. There's just not enough time left in the 9 days, or enough finances to pull everything off. But the homestead's going to keep going after the challenge, so we're still going to be working and adding stuff as we go. But and you just keep going every day. You do something different. You do a lot of the same things every day. But if you want your homestead, plan it out. Put it on a piece of paper, the things that you want, and then come up with a solid budget. And the things that you're going to need, pick up as you go. Don't overdo it. So, and I'll give you an example. Like, Sarah picks up 2 cases of canning jars a week. So she doesn't, go down all at once to buy, a ton. She just picks up 2 a week. It doesn't really hurt our budget at all. And then, we'll have them in the fall when it's time to harvest. So, in the winter, we got a lot of the stuff for the vegetables and the greenhouse and stuff. We planned all that out, and we bought that ahead of time so we'd have it and we were ready, and we wouldn't have to go to the store and fight over what they had and didn't have and make things work. So most of the stuff, we planned ahead, and that's a big part of it. Is homesteading is having a solid plan, and if you don't have that, you're really just setting yourself up for failure. Doesn't mean the plan can't change, because it can, and it's going to have to sometimes. For example, the barn. But it's sometimes things work out for the best regardless. So definitely have a good plan, and write down all the things that you really have, you must have, and but focus on your priorities. And number one, I'm going to tell you, it's water, period. Plain and simple, it's water. So hold tight 1 minute. I gotta make a stop and talk to a potential vendor for the farmers market. All right, so I talked to that potential vendor, and she cannot do the farmers market because she runs her thing over here on Saturdays. She sells plants and seedlings and stuff like that. But from talking with her, she offered to take a bunch of flyers, and she also knows a bunch of other vendors that might be interested. So just talking to that one person may have got me 5 or 6 other vendors. So that's pretty exciting. And I'm going to run home and grab her some flyers, and I'll run them back down after. But then I grabbed water real quick for the storage container for the garden. But back to what we were talking about though, planning. It really, you got to have a solid plan. Just put it down on paper. Maybe you want to raise goats. Well, make a list of all the things you're going to need for goats. Maybe you want to, just do gardening, and that's fine. But write down a list of all the things you're going to need. Plant starter trays, seeds, water solution. You're going to need a greenhouse. There's a lot of things that you might not think about until it comes up. And then you're reaching in your pocket for money that you weren't planning on spending. So definitely come up with a good plan, because it's so much more challenging if you're just kind of winging it. And I'll be honest, some stuff we winged it. We woke up and said, what are we going to do the video about today? And look around the yard, and we found something. Like, let's do this. We didn't have necessarily something laid out for all 100 days. We had a list of things that we wanted to get done, and for the most part we have. A few things we didn't get done. Christmas trees we wanted to get in. The pond's not finished, but it could be finished in the next 9 days. Either way, should get dug out next couple weeks. We weren't planning on getting a well. That wasn't part of our plan. But it just became more and more of a necessity as the farm grew, and we had the animals, and we had the garden. We got to keep up with it. We got to have a solid water source. And it's funny how things work out, because we were going to build the barn. We couldn't afford it. The price of lumber skyrocketed, so we were going to do one of those rent-to-own things. Well, then we were going to be locked into a payment. And then our neighbor came and really saved us and said, hey, I got this barn you can have. You're just going to take it down and move it. So that's what we did. And if we had done that rent-to-own shed, then we'd be locked in a payment for the next 4 or 5 years. We wouldn't have the finances to deal with it well. So it's really one of those things where everything happens for a reason, and I think that's exactly what the reason was. So we still have our barn, and it suits us good. It needs a little work, and we'll be working on that next couple weeks. We got to get it wrapped up and finished up. But if that money was tied up, it'd be a whole different story, and we'd definitely be struggling a lot with water and keeping up with everything. So definitely make sure you have a good solid water source. I cannot stress that enough. So if you got to get a storage container or something, do that, but come up with a good way to keep it full. And I don't think people realize how fast 300 gallons of water goes. It goes pretty fast. So just be prepared. So in the house alone, we go through about 40 gallons a day, and that's really just washing dishes, showers, giving the dogs water. We don't necessarily do our laundry hooked up to the house. We will once the well's hooked up, but that's what we run in the house a day. Takes about 2 buckets of water for a shower. Takes about a bucket of water to do the dishes. And, you know, there's 3 of us in the house, so there's six 5-gallon buckets right there. It's 30 gallons, just showers. So yeah, I mean, it goes fast. So definitely have a plan for that. And then, you know, write up a solid budget, but make sure you're saving a little extra month, little extra every month, because things happen, and, you know, things break, and you got to have a little bit to fall back on. And I talked about this in a video way back when we first started doing YouTube videos about saving your money and having something to fall back on. And, you know, you really need to. So even if it's $10 a week, you know, it adds up. And then, you know, come that rainy day when something goes wrong, you'll have that little bit to fall back on. So definitely try to save some money. Do some good budgeting. You know, plan out the things you're going to need, but spread them out if you can. Just like the canning jars. Spread them out. If we were to buy all the canning jars that we were going to need, we'd probably be spending $400 or $500. You know, at once. And, you know, Sarah's picking up a couple every week, like $30 a week. And, you know, yeah, it adds up. But I'd much rather do it that way, not be broke one week by picking up the little things. You know, same thing like I talked about with the seeds and stuff. You know, we bought seeds all winter. We bought starter packs all winter. You know, I bought the greenhouse in the winter knowing I was going to put it up in the spring. But that's when, you know, I had the little extra money for it. So that's when I bought it. And then, you know, we were good to go. It all comes down to planning. And then, you know, you're going to have good days and bad days on the homestead. And I've had a few. You know, me and Sarah have had arguments over some stuff. Normally she wins the argument, but that's fine. But I'm not necessarily doing this for me. I'm doing it because I like the look of happiness on her face when she's with the goats and, you know, enjoying our homestead. You know, hopefully someday we can make a living out of this, and that's really my main goal. But at the end of the day, if my wife's happy and my kids are happy, that's what it's all about. It really is. And, you know, to see her smile and be happy, that's the best gift I could ever get right there. You know, she loves those baby goats. And she goes and she sits with them 20 minutes every morning before she goes to work. I think that's kind of become her peace. And, you know, just to see the joy on her face really shows that all this has been worth it. And I hope if you guys are going to, you know, follow your dreams and homestead, or maybe you're homesteading now, that you look for that joy and that peace, because that's what it's about. It really is. It is a hard life. It is hard work. You are always doing something. But at the end of the day, that's what makes it worth it. The happiness that it brings. And I promise you, it's going to bring you some pain and heartache and sore backs, but it's going to bring you so much more happiness, so much more joy than, you know, working for somebody your entire life, to not following your dreams. Because I know when I'm an old man laying on my deathbed, I don't want to have any regrets. And I'm going to be able to lay there knowing that I raised a family, followed my dreams, I made the most out of the life that I've been given, and I'm okay with that. That's a life well lived. It really is. So I urge you guys to you know, follow those dreams if that's what you have. Become homesteaders, become farmers. It's so much better life. And I wouldn't change a thing. I really wouldn't. This last 91 days has taught me a lot about family, about myself, about animals. You know, I never imagined I'd have this, and now I have all of this, and it's really amazing. So Sorry, backing in. Unload the water. All right, so I'm back home. But yeah, like, you know, this life has just been so much more rewarding. This whole challenge, you know, it's been an amazing journey. And even though we're not done, we're going to be adding stuff years down the road. You know, we know that this isn't over, but this was our start. This was the big start. You know, 100 days, we have almost built our homestead to, you know, mostly how we want it. You know, and things will change over the years. We'll get into other things. We'll do different things. You know, we're still learning too. We're not experts on everything. We have a basic knowledge and basic understanding, and you know, we're going with it. And some things we're making up as we go along, and it's working out. You know, piecing together, and it's really been an incredible journey this far. I know we have 9 more days of this challenge to get as much more done as we can. And today I'm just running around doing errands and getting water and stuff like that. But that's, you know, part of the challenge. You have to maintain things. You have to, you know, keep water for the animals, make sure you got your feed, you got to get the garden watered, you got to do the stalls, you can clean the chickens. You know, you got to do all that stuff, and that's a challenge within itself, like I said, but it really is so worth it, so worth it. And you know, being able to film this and share this with everybody has been a journey within itself. It really has. We're at almost 500 subscribers, and never did I imagine that almost, you know, 500 people would be interested in the things we're doing. And it's just been incredible. So thank you all, everybody that's subscribed. Really appreciate it. You know, you guys are the reasons we get up and record this every day, because we know that a lot of you are interested. Many of you follow our journey. You have been very supportive. You know, for the most part, we have had a few haters, I guess, but maybe people that want to see us fail. And I think that comes with the territory. But 99% of the comments and everything has been positive, helpful, and you know, we really appreciate every one of you that have watched, every one of you that have subscribed. You know, you guys have really made it worth it, and you know, you keep it fun at the same time, so it's not always about work. You know, this is a whole different aspect to homesteading, is being able to film it. And you know, 30 years ago, you know, something like this wasn't available. And I wonder, you know, how many more people would be living a better life and following their dreams if there was. So, and that's part of why we do this, because we really want you guys to all follow your dreams and, you know, live the life that God gave you and live it to its fullest. So, but yeah, so this has been day 91 of our homestead challenge. I still got chores and stuff I'll be doing this afternoon, but I just wanted to share those thoughts with you, and I hope it's been helpful, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.